Good evening, friends. Market has been really showing lot of resilience. Despite valuations are very rich, despite FIs are selling, market is on lot. And look at what happened to the Vodafone IPO. You know, uh, who could have thought that the Vodafone will get so much good response from the investors? So clearly, it could be also a play on arbitrage in the sense that the company is listed, you are getting shares at the lower price, and if you are able to get it, might as well make a killing on that. And today, if you look at Vodafone Idea, especially what was the price in the future was available at the lower price, and in the cash market it was available at the higher price. Uh, Today, I think the allotment will get announced, and we will come to know who got it, and then probability is very, very high. I would inform that in Gujarat, there was a heavy premium being paid just to apply because there is a huge arbitrage opportunity. Many IPO investors saw that. So, in case if they come and try to close their position, there could be a volatility. That's the reason why we see a possibility. That we saw a huge gap between the future price and the cash price. But before I begin my webinar, just a small disclaimer that this webinar is only to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Investment in securities market are subject to market risk, and past performance is no indicator of future returns. Since result season has started, let me touch upon what's happening. If you look at the numbers, market did a decent job. If you look at quarter on quarter, the top line is grown up by 4% and Y on Y up by 16.6%. The net profit is up by quarter on quarter 9% and Y on Y it's up by 14.4%. We did some analysis internally to understand what could be the numbers of India Inc. for the March quarter. March quarter, don't get confused with the full year. And our sense is that India Inc. should report near about 16% growth Y on Y. So right now it's 14.4%. We are saying it should be near about 16% Y on Y. Now, if that what's going to happen, India will have near about 4 lakh crore net profit for the March quarter. And that's what our internal assessment. There is one thing that we realize which is being playing out in the India Inc. number. It seems to be that commentary continues to remain quite robust. No one talks about a gloom and doom kind of a scenario when they are declaring the numbers. Number one. Number two, future outlook continues to remain promising, except IT stocks where they are little more cautious. Okay, but otherwise, till now the comment does not look say very gloomy scenario. IMF, other people have revised India's GDP. Monsoon, both SkyMet as well as IMD predicted that India will get above normal monsoon. So that's another factor which gives a lot of hope to the India Inc. Only one thing which we still not able to see an impact yet on this red SIM issue. And I think as the more data comes out, I think we'll get more clarity on what's happening on the, do we see margin, do we see volume, do we see some kind of an impact there. Little early because very few companies have declared numbers till now. But the point is that the growth has been 14.4. Our sense is that 16% growth, and we will wait and watch. If you look at the trend also post results, the more number of companies have basically moved up post numbers, declaration of their numbers as compared to companies declined. That happened with large cap, that happened with mid cap. I did not look at the small cap, but the trend could be very similar. The strength in the equity market, there are various school of thoughts which is basically playing out. I don't know whether the school of thought is right or wrong. My job is to just update you what is their chatter is going on in this. One school of thought is that market may continue to hold its present level more or less till the complete election process are over. Because poor sentiment in the market does not play out well. Another school of thought believes that market can give up some of the gains purely because of frothy gains that's there. Frothy valuations are there. So we don't know which we do expect. So our internal view is definitely that we don't see much upside in the market, but definitely there is a possibility that market may give up some of the gains in the near future. Is it because of geopolitical? Is it because of central banks' commentaries? Is it because of some other events that takes place? There has to be reason. Sometimes the market can also go down without any reasoning. If you look at Bitcoin price, they are corrected near about 8 to 10% in April 2024. If you look at some of this AI related business, they have come under selling pressure. If you look at the EV as a theme, Tesla is substantially down. But it's not only the Tesla, which is an EV manufacturer, is down, but there are many other companies associated with the EV are down. But that was the theme, if I remember correctly. Many of you were asking me how does one play out the EV theme 12 months or 18 months back. So I think this is the reasons kya hai, kaise hai. It's very difficult to, but I've always realized in my life, in the market, there is a strong, the market can correct without strong reasoning also. It could be pure profit booking, it could be some other events, but market normally come around based on the fundamentals of the company. No market can sustain pure without rallying the fundamental. So despite, assume that India can report 4 lakh crore, 16 lakh crore hota hai, and assume that we are near about 385, 389, 86 lakh crore kind of a stuff, we are still commanding in excess of what we have been historically commanding. So I think that's where people will look at where do we need to position themselves in terms of this one, what we call in terms of their strategy. While short term looks little challenging, as we have been saying quite some time, the long term outlook on the Indian equity market looks extremely promising. When I say extremely promising, and I wrote one article for India's leading financial website saying that Nifty could be 90,000 by 2034. And I strongly believe, if you ask me, probability of that happening is 90%. And that's the kind of confidence. And I think the key thing is that if you really wish to make money, start ignoring the short-term noises. No one talks about COVID, am I right? No one talks about Evergrande, a Chinese company that collapsed. No one talks about Ukraine and Russia war. People moved on, and market is substantially higher than those events. So that's the beauty about the market, and hence, if you can play with if you can control your emotions in the short run, I think long term looks extremely very, very promising. And I distinctly recollect once Mohit made a presentation where he talked about the myopic. Many times you want to look at what is happening in the short, and because of that, we are not able to visualize or see what our long-term outlook looks. So I am one basically who always ignore the short-term volatility and look at the long-term fundamentals. And I must tell you that I met someone And he was saying that, Sunil bhai, I'm very sure many of your customers would have forgot about Vatek Webag. This is the company had recommended almost 2 years or 3 years back in our as a Diwali Murat buys, and the script did not perform well. By the time the next Diwali came, the script was down. And today that script is almost up by 200% from the previous, not from the down level, from the recommended level. So, sometimes the short term looks little challenging, but long term looks very, very promising. Problem is that we get so much carried away by the short term volatility, and then we end up losing out on the big gains. There's another company which I must tell you that he also mentioned about Exide Industries. This was also stock of the month that we recommended. The script did not perform well for a couple of months, and someone did pass in comments in this webinar only, क्या फायदा वो कंपनी को लेके अगर कंपनी नहीं चलने वाला है. तो that was a very fair comment because the script did not do well and the market was doing reasonably well at that point of time. And I said we need to wait and watch. We have not closed the call, and in 1 month itself, the Exide is up by 50%, and of course it's more than 100% from the recommended level. So the point which I'm trying to say, sometimes the short-term trend basically do impact our decision making, and we end up doing what we are not supposed to do. So my request, please don't get carried away by too much short-term volatility. जो होना है होने दो market का. You don't have to. And I've said also, if the short-term volatility bothers you, please stay away from the market. But don't do something foolish thing which you will repent at the later stage of your life. Anyway, what happened last 1 week? When I say last 1 week, that is from last Wednesday till today. Small cap did well, 2.4% up. Sensex up by 1.1%. Nifty up by 1%. Mid cap up by 0.7%. So if you look at it, the small cap did better as compared to large, but the mid cap is the worst performing sector. What come as a surprise to me also, that despite IT companies not giving a strong commentary, they still managed to close in the green with 0.4%. Isn't it? And China did very well, but yet Nifty Metal, while close in the green, not outperformed significantly, only up by 0.6. If you look at the YTD, large mid cap continues to be the best performer among the mid, small and large. Small cap is up by 9 and Nifty is up by near about 2.9 and 2.1. PSU Bank continues to be the topmost. So is the case with Nifty Realty and IT, Finance and Bank. They continue to remain a underperformer, and so is the case with Nifty FMCG. My sense is that when I was looking at some data which I presented to our PMS customers last Thursday, this one sector which could move significantly into the green in next couple of quarter is FMCG. So that sector looks a little promising to me, and that maybe you can watch some of the constituents there. Of course, we do run into a challenges. Why? Because we know that one of the health drink has been not considered as a health drink, has been asked to remove from the health drinks. Second thing, some of the spices from India seems to be having some carcinogenic content in that, and hence the food safety issues has come up. So I think one of the FMCG companies in one of the baby food products has been found sugar content seems to be a little higher and doesn't seem to be very suitable for the. So these challenges are there, but I think this challenges also gives a good opportunity to relook at these companies from the capital appreciation point of view. So my sense is that if I have to come in front of you, maybe 6 months down the line, so we are in the month of April, and if I have to come back to you maybe in the month of October, I think FMCG index logically should be in the green, not in the red. This is my personal prediction, my personal this one. I could go 100% wrong. So please take it with my prediction with tons of salt, not with pinch of salt. FIIs continue to remain negative. 7,100 crore. Most probably they will continue to remain negative. purely because of profit booking, purely because of some reshufflement that they are doing in that global allocation, and that's the reason they are down by, and they are basically net seller to the extent of 7,100 crore. With this, let's open the floor for question answer. Mukherjee, okay, sir. Best wishes. I will soon join your PMS, as I'm sure it will be in safe hand. I have one question regarding mid and small cap. They have now fully recovered from its lowest point and going up. Do you see any corrections coming in? Do you think shifting to large cap has generated better alpha? So I must tell you that we do see a valuation, a concern for the mid and small cap, and hence we do believe that these companies can correct, not correct, but they can correct substantially. Now, question of alpha, we keep looking at this data, and this data is as of today. Okay, so while the benchmark is up by 1.7%, that's in the month of April I'm talking about, our SOL is up by 6.21%. 1.7 benchmark, the SOL is up by 6.21. This is despite we are mainly into large cap. That's for the SOL. If I come back to come to the power is up by 6.86% versus the benchmark up by 1.7%. So has it impacted since your question, do you think shifting to large caps generated better alpha? The answer is yes. But the reason to move to large cap is not to generate alpha. Let me be very honest with you. Reason to generate alpha, reason to shift to large cap purely to protect the capital. Because we do believe mid and small cap, as and when they correct, no one can be, aaj bola kal correct hoga. And it did correct actually, but it bounced back also. Let's be very honest there. But we do believe there is a froth. The froth has not yet gone away in the mid and small cap. Is it the result could be the trigger? Is it something else that could be the reason? I don't know. But they should logically correct. And we have generated, despite move to large caps, we have generated alpha. We are very confident. And that's why I said we don't look at too much, get too concerned. Despite we did well in the month of April, we don't get too much excited or concerned by the short-term performance. What we are saying, are we doing the right things? If we're doing the right things, eventually it has to reflect in the performance. Short-term में क्या होता है? No one has a handle on that. No one can control that because short-term anything can happen without this one. In the long run, if your strategy is right, your process is right, it has to reflect in the performance. And that's exactly. So Mukherjee Sahab, I believe I gave all the reply to your question. In case if I'm not able to, if I miss out something, please write back. And yes, we welcome you on our PMS service, Mukherjee Sahab. Frank is saying, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi paving the way for digital India, it's an exciting time to explore opportunity in the sector presence. Would you have a webinar indicating which sectors will be beneficial and why? So I think digital India is not a theme that is being played out now. This is a theme that has been played out extremely well post launch of Jio. Whether you look at GEM Kinity, you look at the complete apps coming in, new data being cheap, people have been able to do that. I'll give you a simple example. And I was making my daughter understand that. Okay, so I wanted her to go through the experience of how IPO application becomes so smooth. And I shown her one picture where people used to stand outside the bank to deposit their IPO application. Long queue रहता था और गर्मी जैसे समय में तो 2-3 घंटा queue में खड़ा रहना, but people were that kind of a craze. Today, for you sitting in the comfort of your home, even 10 or 11 in the night, it takes less than 30 seconds to apply in the IPO. That's possible because of digital. If you look at today, the biggest broker in the country is not a traditional broker. A broker who doesn't have a branch is just completely digital. So digital India as a theme is, and today some of the NBFCs and banks and so on and so forth. You need to ask yourself how many times you went to the bank. You don't need to go to the bank because everything is now happening online, digital. So, Frank sir, in India, things are, I know you are outside India, you live outside India, things have become extremely digital. It will further enhance with the technology of AI. And hence its benefit is not only to the company that is providing data, but there are so many enablers that's going to sit on that, and that's going to make life so. What are the biggest beneficiaries of digital? I must tell you that it is the banks, because your processing becomes much faster. Your decision to give a loan to one particular individual or corporate can become much quicker and much faster. So digital, in fact, your efficiency goes up because of the digital. Am I right? So on and so forth. The benefit of digital will spread across the economy, across all the sectors. It's not restricted to one particular sector. And my sense is that it's going to have a multiplier effect on that. The digital India will also help to remove so much unwanted efficiency will comes in. And that's going to improve your productivity significantly. So I think digital India, so it will offer opportunity to each and every sector. And that I'm talking about manufacturing also, I'm talking about services also. Of course, someone will get more benefit, someone will get less benefit. And within that, how smartly you are using this. It's also very, very critical. If you use your digital as a service very smartly, the gain could be, I know so I was looking at two companies with the same sector. It's in a part of retail. When I look at one company, they are doing extremely well in terms of using the digital to service the customer and to do more data mining to give more specific need to the customer. The another same industry is a little slow and lethargic in terms of using digital as a platform to mine the customer. Now, both the resources available for both. One is able to use it, another is not able to use it. Same sector, but different kind of an outcome. And that's where, I met one, I don't want to name because I don't like basically. Almost 9-10 साल पहले में one of the India's leading retailer I had met. And they talk about omnipresent. Even today, that omnipresent remains more on the boardroom and the planning stage. It has really not play out the way it should play out. And we all know this company has not been able to generate the kind of alpha it should have logically generated. So that's the same thing, Frank sir. So I think my point, even if I give you sector, it's all ultimately boils down to which company is going to get benefit of that digital to make sense for that. So I think, but remember, having said that, digital is transforming India. Digital is reducing cost of operations. Digital is helping to do more pointed the sales and services, and that's what is making. I'll give you another classical example. There are so examples which everyone can relate to it. Today, if you used to, previously you used to want to book a railway ticket, you used to go to the particular counter, book, stand in a queue and fill up the form. और ticket नहीं मिला तो उस particular train का नहीं मिला तो दूसरा, and sometimes the clerk will get little dedicated, बस नहीं ये तो काहे के लिए time pass कर रहा है. Today, because of digital app, you are able to do that in a fraction of seconds. Automatically, it will tell you if you are basically regular customers, it will tell you नाम, age, sex, सब कुछ उसमें fill up auto fill करके आ जाता है. Your option of veg, non-veg menu भी automatically आ जाता है because it don't know what your preference has been, whether you are normally going for a veg or normally going for non-veg. Then it also basically preempt, do you normally go for insurance or not, and so on. And then it also knows which bank you normally basically make payment with, वो auto populate करके आ जाता है, and then you make the payment. Now that's the power of this, and that's why you can expand your products and services. Now I give an example of retail, I give an example of railways, and so on and so forth. I think digital is going to be more enabler than the service itself. Suresh ji, there is also thought that someone is holding the market sentiments positive in the election season. It will be loose after the election. Sir, your views on this, please. So, Suresh sir, even I heard that, and that's what I said in my opening remarks. There are two schools of thoughts. I think JP Morgan or someone came out with the statement that post-election Nifty can go to 25,000 if I read it correctly today somewhere. I think my dealers informed me if my memory serves me right. There is another school of thought that market can correct as it happened post 2019 election outcome. We don't know. Today, as I said, sir, our sense is that we are a little cautious in the market. We had preferred to park our funds in the large cap. The new funds that are coming in the PMS, we are using AAA strategy, that is systematic staggered strategy, where we will invest anywhere between 0 to 120 days that amount in a staggered manner just to ride out the volatility. We do expect market to remain volatile despite BJP is likely to form the government. I know many people will not like it, but that's what it looks like at this point of time. Despite monsoon is likely to be good, despite India Inc. is likely to report 16% Y-on-Y net profit, yet we are a little cautious on the market. So my sense is that market, whether someone is holding sentiment positive or not, I don't know. And it's very difficult for me to do a guesswork also. But there is a possibility that the market can remain volatile in the next couple of months. Rohit, do you still see potential correction in the market, or the correction is over now? If you see further correction, that can you provide some guidance on by when this correction is expected? Regards. So Rohit sir, as I was explaining to Suresh sir also, we do expect, we are a little downward bias right now in the market. We don't see that too much upside potential from this level. So our sense is that market can remain little volatile, remain little choppy, and that's the reason we came out with the AAA strategy, systematic staggered strategy. Your question is that when can you guide, when will the corrections happen? Very difficult to tell you, sir, pinpoint that. Okay, when the corrections will happen. It will happen. When it happens, very difficult to say. As we have been saying in the past also, we have been doing in the past also, I will come in front of you and tell you that this is the time we believe there is not much downside from this risk. That statement we are not making today. But we will make this statement maybe 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line. We will come in front of you and tell, say, now from this point of time, this level, the market doesn't seem to have more downside risk possible. And when we look at the risk reward, now from this point, reward looks more promising. Having said that, as I was mentioning in my opening remarks also, we do believe that long-term outlook for the market remains extremely promising. We do believe that by 2034, that is 10 years down the line, Nifty could be 90,000. That is 4x from the present level. Am I right? So don't get too much perturbed up by short-term volatility. ये इवेंट होते रहेंगे. इलेक्शन आएंगे, इलेक्शन जाएंगे, गवर्नमेंट आएगी, गवर्नमेंट जाएगी. That's the nature. Results आएंगे, results जाएंगे. Geopolitical situation होगी. But the long-term, purely because of the growth in the economy, is likely to be sustained very, very strongly. So Rohit ji, yes, we do expect market to remain volatile, little choppy. We will come in front of you and tell you when we don't expect market further downside to the indices level. Sonal Giri's view, outlook on IT and mid-cap IT space. So our sense is that if you look at from the risk reward point of view, the IT sector seems to be, a lot of negatives are already there in the price. People know that numbers are not good. People know that people are not getting more employees on their books, and so on and so forth. So risk reward, and even IT's mid-cap IT space the same thing. Now the challenge is that your outlook is for 3 months, 4 months. Having said that, we did move out of one of the IT companies in our PMS also, but that's more pertaining to that particular IT companies. We have not exited completely from the IT services software. We do own some of the in our PMS. So short term looks a little challenging. Medium to long term looks very, very promising. My worry is that sometimes we get so much concerned by the short term volatility that we lose patience to ride out the long term gain. As I was giving an example of one company called Vatek Webak, which we had recommended in our Murat buys, sorry. And then that company, people lost confidence and many basically moved out. I don't know how many people still continues to hold. Can someone basically say they continue to hold? Because I'm very sure not many people would basically will come up with the statement that they continue to hold. Many would have said we got lost out, we got fearful that we don't want to lock in the we don't want to, we can't see so much losses in our portfolio, and then we basically moved out of that. So I think I recommended in Diwali 2021, as I can see. And I can see that company, so what was the price, and let me see that also. Something similar can happen with IT stocks and so on, that's why I'm saying. So Vatek Webak was recommended on 5th November 2021. Almost 2.5 months, like 342. Today's close is 978, up by 186%. So something similar can happen with IT and mid-cap IT space. Short term looks a little challenging. The mid and long term looks little extremely promising. Nilesh is saying, I wish to know your comments on the advantage of demonetization, lack of structural reforms in India. India struggled with implementing comprehensive structural reforms to address long-standing issues such as bureaucratic inefficiency, complex tax systems, and rigid labor laws. So, Nilesh, there are way we look at it. If you ask me, one of the biggest reforms that took place in this country has been the GST. Years after years, we have seen those. Of course, when we started initially, GST was not the way it should be. It created a lot of disruption. But I think it's been one of the biggest reforms. Why? Because it plugged in a lot of loopholes in the system. I'll give you a classical example. And of course, we can all relate to it. So, I live in Bombay. And there used to be Octroi Jakat Naka, we used to call it. So, the moment you enter the Bombay territory, there will be a huge long queue because of Octroi Naka. Before, this is after pre-GST era. And invariably, if I'm coming from Surat or from Vapi or Daman, on my way back to home, I would mentally be prepared कि मुझे आधा पौना घंटा लगने वाला है because of this traffic, because of Octroi Naka. And those who can relate to it, because those who have used this, now that Octroi Naka is gone. So GST, I'm giving a simple example. The GST has made life so simple for the people in terms of the compliance point of view, from the reforms point of view. If you look at structural reforms, I think there are structural reforms. Like, if you look at the production link incentive scheme is a very, very good step to do that. Gati Sakti and so on and so forth. The benefit of that are going to come in the years to come. See, there are certain reforms where the benefit can be seen immediately. And so there are certain reforms that will happen. I'll give you simple, you talk about complex tax systems. There are many people who confirm to me that today the income tax refund comes within 15 to 20 days of they filing the income tax. पहले नहीं आता था. Government, to simplify this, they said you don't claim new tax reforms income tax में. कोई deduction नहीं चाहिए, ये simple है, life become easy for you. I mean, that's another way to remove that ये deduction है, वो deduction है kind of stuff. So I think we are moving that direction. Has the work been done? No, it's a work in progress. And I fully agree with you, labor laws. I think that's where the government did make an attempt, but then there was a lot of hue and cry. It did not happen. And that's one agenda which is still not been done very efficiently. So I agree with you. But have there been no reforms or there are no this one? I think it is not right. But it's a work in progress. We will see more reforms. And I think this reform is not only restricted to this Modi government. Since 1991, I think the reforms has been happening. The pace of reform will be different. But I think government after government has been consistently trying to see that can we do an ease of doing business, ease of this one. I think they've been doing very well. Today, I think the pace of reform has increased, and with digital being the backbone, I think it will further reforms. I think one thing which I really, so we did need reforms in two areas, which I personally believe. One is definitely labor laws, and second thing is the reforms in terms of the subsidies. I think these are two things which we need to relook at it in a very, very efficient. In fact, there's one more thing which the manifesto of BJP talked about, that removing the archaic laws in the like for example land. They talk about digitalization of land records. They talk about the real estate. See, you look at each and every human being. आदमी कमाता है घर बनाने के लिए, because that's the normal human psychology and sentiment कि मेरा घर बन जाए अच्छा है, people will take loan and so on and so forth. The biggest reform that needed, which the RERA has happened, which is the reforms only, still there's a more needs to be done. I think what is need to be done to reduce the registration cost and reduce the construction cost, and I think that's what the BJP manifesto talks about, that they want to handle that also. Once that happens, I think a lot of people like the reform that happened in equity market, and a lot of credit should go to the people when we introduce this demat account and so on and so forth. That's a big reforms. Some similar kind of reform needs to be done in the real estate sector, because most of our people, when I say most of people, they basically live or they have aspire to have the home, and I keep saying that if you can remove so much hurdles in terms of making processes online, the corruption can be taken care of in the real estate related. I distinctly recollect one of the leading builder from Bombay making a statement on one of the business channel in a live interaction. If the government can remove and make this process online in terms of approval, we can reduce our price by 1/3. Now you can imagine what was he referring to. Am I right? So I think that's where the big reforms are needed, because that will help each and every citizen of this country, and that's a true reforms. Why? Because if you're so today, which other assets cost for 5-6% cost to acquire? Real estate में I'm talking about Bombay, so maybe different for this state may have different. बॉम्बे में 5% स्टैम्प ड्यूटी है, 1% रजिस्ट्रेशन है, 6% वो हो गया. ब्रोकरेज इज 1%, 7%. विच अदर असेट्स द ट्रांजेक्शन कॉस्ट इज 7%. हमारे पीएमएस में 0.1% ब्रोकरेज प्लस 1.1 पर एसटीटी है जो गवर्नमेंट का, 0.2% है. 0.2%. जब आप गोल्ड लेने जाते हो कितना ट्रांजेक्शन कॉस्ट है? This is the only assets which is basically, and I personally request the whoever government comes next, please focus on real estate and bring in that efficiency. It's not sustainable. It's basically taking this affordability out of the everyone's pocket. 5% stamp duty, 1% registration cost, 1% brokerage to the this one, 7% तो आपका वही हो गया. और वो 7% का आपको कोई रिबेट नहीं मिलता जब बेचने जाते हो. The government doesn't say that if you already paid the stamp duty, जैसे GST में होता है ना, you get input tax GST. वो नहीं होता. स्टैम्प ड्यूटी आपने जो भरा है वो उसको जो बायर है उसको बेनिफिट कुछ नहीं मिलता है, उसको भी स्टैम्प ड्यूटी देना है उसके ऊपर. तो विच इज वेरी इनएफिशिएंट सिस्टम. I personally believe, and that's where instead of labor laws, I want government to basically clearly look at the real estate reforms, and I think RERA has been done but more needs to be done there. Has anyone talked about VAT buyback, Amil? Archit is saying, how does so much flow of DI into the market affect the rupee and consumption or spending in economy? If so much money comes to the market, of course, some spend can be deferred. Instead of consuming, people are putting money into work in market. So there are couple of things, Archit sir. One is that I earn more. When I earn more, there is a law of economics which says propensity to consume is less than 1. So suppose my income goes from 1 crore to 2 crore. Am I going to spend 1 crore additional? No, I'll spend more. It's not that I'm going to spend more when my income goes up. But I'll not spend additional 1 crore immediately. That saving is coming. That saving is getting diverted. So don't get confused with that savings with the spending. Number one. Number two, previously you used to put your money in the savings account. आप सेव करते आप पैसा नहीं खर्चा करते और यू आर पुटिंग दैट मनी इन एफडी. नाउ आप कंटाल गए वो 3% 4% रिटर्न लेके और 6% रिटर्न लेके. सो दैट मनी नाउ कमिंग इन द फॉर्म ऑफ SIP. सो पहले जो रिकरिंग डिपॉजिट होती थी वो भी SIP में कन्वर्ट हो गई. सो दैट मनी दैट फ्लो इज कमिंग अप. सो दैट नॉट नेसेसरी दैट इट इज कमिंग एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ कंजम्पशन और कॉस्ट ऑफ द स्पेंडिंग. I don't think that's the right way to look at it. So I don't think people are deferring their spending. On the contrary, people are spending money. The only thing, the incomes have gone up, number one, and number two, the people who are putting the money in bank FD or bank savings is coming to the equity market, and mutual fund sahi hai seems to have done a wonderful job. See, a lot of people also got little conscious of want to take an insurance. लाइफ इंश्योरेंस. नाउ लाइफ इंश्योरेंस वाला भी पैसा डालता है ना इक्विटी मार्केट में, बिकॉज उसको तो 20 साल 25 साल 30 साल के बाद उसका तो आने वाला है. जब आदमी कुछ हो जाएगा तभी उसको पैसा देना है. दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू पुट ऑल मनी इन द फिक्स इनकम. दे ऑल्सो पुटिंग दैट मनी इनटू द सेकंड थिंग, द NPS मनी, दैट पेंशन स्कीम, नेशनल पेंशन स्कीम. देयर ऑल्सो यू हैव एन ऑप्शन टू सिलेक्ट इक्विटी एंड डेट. दैट मनी इज ऑल्सो कमिंग इनटू दैट द इक्विटी मार्केट. So these are all the way the more money is coming via DII to the equity market. Not so I doubt that money is coming because people are deferring their spending or they are not going out and spending money and they want to save that money. I doubt. And on the contrary, I don't know the data, but maybe I can present it next time. I think India's savings have come down as compared to the this one. So I think आपका जो है ना कि सेविंग्स बढ़ गया, स्पेंडिंग कम हो गए, I don't think that holds water. But anyway, I'll get the data maybe in my next webinar. Remind me, Amil, to send that, present that data. Ajay is saying, I regret when you, okay, you regret not buying. No, I wanted to know, sir, those who bought and got out of it, because short term was not looking exciting, but long term was looking promising. So I want those. But anyway, अजय जी होते रहता है. Don't have regret in life. बहुत कुछ होता है. मेरी भी बहुत कुछ लाइफ में regret है. पर वो तो लाइफ that's why I say part of omission and commission. तो वो होता रहता है. You miss out sometimes. Not every multi-bagger you can have in your portfolio. That's fine. Sandeep, yes, Vatek is not having sales growth and PE is showing 98. How come it's getting so much valuation without showing performance? Please enlighten. Sandeep sir, it's a story of water crisis. If people need to have what we call more water would be needed, and we all know that water is going to be the next frontier which we all need to struggle because of global warming and so on and so forth. I think we will need that, and that's where this. And sir, why you are saying the P is 98? When I see P is not 98, sir. I don't think the data what you are. Maybe you are looking at the what we call the previous 12 months. But if you look at this company, it's done extremely well in the first. If you look at the trailing 12 months, the growth has been excellent. So it's not that the company P is right or this company's valuation is not as high as what we are saying. But having said that, I think the long-term growth for a company like this is very, very good purely because of this company is into water processing and demand for water processing is going to be extremely good. Hakale sir is saying, previously you had one live interaction in Mumbai with Mojo professional members. Since some reasonable time has lapsed, you should hold one more live conference. We will do it, Hakale sir. We did it, I think, in April 2022. So almost 2 years back. And we are in April only. The reason why at that point of time we did because we were launching our Infinity Power Service. And that's the reason we did that event. Right now, you're well. See, the problem happens, when if you do it in Bombay, then customers in Hyderabad feel little annoyed, or customer in Bangalore get a little annoyed, and then In fact, we got request from someone from Australia also. Okay, why are you not doing events if you're doing events in Bombay, in India, why not in Australia? Someone made a request, why not in other parts of the like US and Canada? So. Sir, today with the digital and with this one, there is a less reason for us to do a live event. But we did some events when we launched our PMS. We did some events with our customers in Bombay. Not events, it was more one-to-one kind of a stuff. We did something very similar in Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai. We did that actually. But I don't think we don't have anything in agenda at this point of time, Akale sir. But in future, if we do, we will definitely come back to you, sir. Tijo James says, Axis My Election Services, NDA 240, 250, slight edge over India Alliance today. What is your opinion at this? And if that happens, what could be the impact on Indian equity market? So, sir, I don't want to go into who has said what, because that's really not. Don't want to go into that political debate. If for some reason, and if you go back to our January 2024 prediction for the full year equity outlook, okay, you said Axis election survey. Let me look at it. I don't think anyone has come up with this, but let me go to this. Okay, it says fake opinion poll results of Lok Sabha 2000 by Axis goes viral as real. So I don't think the survey that you are talking about is a fake survey. It's not a real survey. And Pradeep Gupta has clarified that there is no survey that they did and they are planning to take a legal action. So I think the data that you are talking about seems to be a little fake. It's not a real survey. Now, coming back to, let's go, whether it's a fake or real, let's not go into that. But in January 2024, we had said that for some reason, if BJP is not able to win the election and they are not able to form the government, market can immediately correct by 20% or so. And we did mention that it will take almost 3 to 6 months to recover from that level. So there is no reason why we believe that we need to change that opinion even now. We maintain what we stated in January 2024. As per you, one should not put fresh money in stock market, right? Not market. I don't know what LYT stands for, but what if anyone wants to start journey by investing in stock market at this point of time? Then how one should go? Please guide. So Mayuresh sir, we said very simple. If you wish to start your journey in the equity market, please start now. But instead of putting all money at one go, please divide it. Put in installment. That's exactly what we have advised. And this is not we are advising now also. We advise this from last couple of months. Okay, do not delay your journey. But start journey, instead of doing it one go, divide maybe in 3 installment or so. In our PMS, what we are doing, I'll explain you, Mayuresh sir, what we are doing. The fresh funds that are coming in our PMS, 50% we plan to invest in 0 to 60 days. And balance 50% anywhere between 61 to 120 days. This strategy is not cast in the stone. We will readjust the strategy depending upon the market condition. But at this point of time, we are putting this strategy in place. So my request to you, Bayuresh sir, please do not delay it. Start, but don't start at one go. Maybe you can do it 3 equal installments of 1 month each or so. Modi 3 is almost confirmed, so do we need to sit with cash to top up or stay invested? Sir, please stay invested. Do not try to time the market. I again said, short term में Modi 3 confirm है, नहीं है, hardly matters. I'm again repeating. We are strongly believe that Indian equity market is going to do extremely well. Okay, 90,000 by 2034. This election will come and go. Who remembers 2019 election? No one. So that decision should not be whether Modi 3 is there or not. First thing, you should bet on India's growth potential. And India's growth potential looks extremely good. It's not me saying, some of the experts in the world have stated that. And no one is making prediction for 1 year, 2 years. There are people are saying this will be a decade for India. Someone said this could be a century for India. If I'm not going to century, at least decade for India, बहुत पैसा बन सकता है. To do that, don't get too much enamored by short-term events. Events आती रहेंगी, जाती रहेंगी. Long-term outlook remains extremely positive. Ajit Singh, which is the best way to park short-term funds to use the fund when market corrects? Put in FD, put in liquid funds. That's the best way you can do that actually. But तकलीफ ये है कि जब market corrects होगा, will you have a guts to put money in the market? Probability is very low. I must tell you that also. That's why we said systematic. Irrespective of what happens to the market. I'll give you a classical example. In Feb 2023, not very distant past, Feb 2023, आज से exactly 14 महीने पहले, may have come in front of it, folded hands. If you have money, please invest. You know, I remember because one foreign broking firm came out with the Nifty level so low, बोलता नहीं पैसा नहीं डालना अभी, मार्केट और नीचे गिरने वाला है. Very few people put the money. And then they confessed to me, सर वो गट्स नहीं था. वैसे ही वापस होगा. अगर suppose for some reason market is to go down, you will not have a guts to put money. Because at that point of time, market is down because some events would have taken place. And that time there will be more news कि market all further गिरेगा. आप पैसा नहीं डालोगे. I'm telling you that. आप में guts नहीं होगा तभी अजीत जी पैसा डालने के लिए. So that's why we say systematic is more, it's more disciplined approach. Because irrespective of what happens to the market, you are going to put money. And that will play out extremely well. It will reap a very rich dividends to you. Is it not the market valuation high due to some more investment? Will that blow into bubble if FI take out the money as profit sometime? So Valliyappan sir, I don't think we are in a bubble zone. There are few stocks which we could be in the bubble zone, but I don't think Indian market as such is in a bubble zone. It's not. And if FI, they did move out of Indian market. They sold very heavily in FI 2024. Sorry, not FI 2024. 2020, FI 2023, they sold very heavily. And yet market did not fell so much. Because why? What has happened? The DI flow is very, very strong. Retail investors party directly also is very, very strong. So whatever the liquidity which has been sucked out by FI selling has been replenished by DI and the retail investors like you and me. And that did not allow market to fall further. So I don't think our dependency on the foreign fund as much as it used to be in the past. अगर पहले तो FI 50,000 भी बेचता था, 50,000 crore also बेचा, it would market को हिला के रख देता था. Today, even if they are able to, if they are selling 30,000-40,000 also, in 1 month, market has been showing a lot of resilience purely because of strong domestic inflows. So I don't think, number one, we are not in bubble zone, number one. Number two, no major impact because of FII selling. It may keep the upside, but I don't think its downside will be significant. Sorry. What should be the take on the manufacturing sector now? What expected growth rate for the same way we look into? So if you look at the Government of India vision, that manufacturing sector accounts for about 16-17% of the GDP. They want to take that to 25% of the GDP. So GDP will expand, and within that, manufacturing side will expand. So it's a double gain that we are talking about. So our sense is that manufacturing as a theme should play out very well. The PLI scheme in China plus one strategy, the logistic improvement, and so on and so forth, I think is going to make India is a very compelling story on the manufacturing. So I think if India is to really grow, we need to give, and employment is another big thing. Am I right? So if India was to really generate employment, it is not possible without growth in the manufacturing. The manufacturing sector looks extremely promising to us. As per today's market scenario, if I want to fresh invest through model portfolio, which option is better, whether aggressive or moderate? Sundara Raju sir, it's all depending on what is your risk appetite. If your risk appetite is aggressive, it's a higher risk, go for aggressive. You said my risk appetite is not, it's very, very moderate. Please go with the moderate portfolio strategy. So the choice is yours, sir. What is your risk profile? And you are the best person to understand what is your risk profile. So pick and choose based on your risk profile. With this, Amir says we do have more questions. Am I right, Amir? Yes, but time is up. So that's why he's saying, to my apology if I'm not able to take your question. I'll be in front of our customers on Thursday with PMS customers. And we are doing a future trend on Friday. Please come, and in case if you are not able to take your question, please put up there on Friday, and I'll be more than happy to take up there. With this, take care, good night, have a great time.